What is your contribution as the elder statesman?
No, what we did was to build the younger ones. Like Peter Obi, this Peter Obi going up and down everywhere.
Yeah.
I brought him down. I put him into politics. If he can be godly and if he can be godly enough to say the truth. Peter Obi, my family lives in UK. I don't live in UK. I visit. Peter Obi and his family lives about 4 or 5 blocks away from where my family lives. Peter has never done politics before. But what we normally do is that whenever I come from Nigeria, or if Peter goes to Nigeria, we discuss Nigerian politics together. So at a time he asked me, who do we want to put as governor? I told him we are going to put Annie Okonkwo, Aguna Echemba Ojoto. That we are tired of this, so many educated people, they have been failing us.
Yeah.
Peter Obi's reply was that Annie Okonkwo is not a trader. He's an opportunist that sold soap and made money. Then I asked him, can you give us an alternative? He said he has got nobody to give. I came to his house about 8. I was with him till 5 in the morning. So at the time I said, since we cannot get anybody, why don't you run? He calls me His Excellency because of my presidential bid.
Yeah.
So His Excellency, no, I've never done politics. I don't know where to start. I said, I'll give you a platform. He said, how? I said, I'll give you a platform. I was the leader of AMPP. George Mogalo was national secretary then. Yusuf Ali was the national chairman. I now call the chairman Anambra, let Mike Quento. I tried to get him, I couldn't get him. I called Honorable Linda Ibazu, who is the only highest elected person we have in ANPP then. She was in Abuja. I told him that I need to speak to Mike. I didn't want to tell him that I had Peter as a candidate because Linda and Peter are not in good terms. She told me that Mike is in Jigawa on chairman's meeting, that she's going to Jigawa early in the morning. Then network wasn't on then. Now he has to tell Mike to come out to Kano and call me. So when Linda got to Jigawa, he told Mike. Mike drove all the way to Kano to call me. I was in UK. I told him it's important because we have gotten a candidate to run on AMPP. He said, who is that? I said, Peter Obi. He said, I have never heard of that name. You don't have to bring a time waster. Yeah. I said, no. We started painting Peter. He has this, he has that, he has this, he has that. So he now asked me, what do I want him to do? I said, I want you to come to Lagos. And Peter was there. That was the following day. After convincing him, Peter now asked me to book 3 rooms in Sheraton, Lagos. I called Sheraton, Lagos. I used my credit card, booked 3 rooms. This thing happened on the 2nd day. You know, I told you we couldn't get Mike.
Yes.
It is when he called me on the 2nd day. Then I told him to start coming. Peter now begged me to start going that evening. When I get to my house, I told my wife I was going back to Lagos. She said, why? Look at what is happening. She wasn't happy with it, but I left. Asked Mike. Mike took a night bus from Kano to Lagos.
To Lagos.
On getting to Lagos, it was very early hours of the following day. Asked me where to stop. I said, stop in front of Sheraton. He stopped there. It was coming in dusty. So he said, what is it? I said, come in. Went, I gave him a room. He had a bath. Peter came in the morning by 6 o'clock with British Airways. And we had a breakfast together. Or is it, I don't know the airline, but he came in the morning. So we had breakfast. That is when I introduced Peter to Mike, Mike to Peter. That is the first outing.
First contact.
First contact. From there, Peter was asking, what is the problem of the party? Why is he not going up? I told him his front. He started giving the party 50,000 every month through Mike. He did it for about 3 months or 4 months. Increased it to 100,000. Peter. Then I told him, you cannot be giving the party anything without giving the chairman. Otherwise, he will be using that money to solve his problem.
Exactly.
He was giving party 100 and he was giving Mike 30. I then took Peter around. I took him to Abuja. I introduced him to George Mogalo. I took him to National Chairman Yusuf Ali. I introduced him to him. I took him to, what do you call him again? A lot of people. Bashiru Dalatu. I took him to a lot of people. I introduced him around, including, I think I took him to Buba Galadima then. Took him around. That is where Peter got his footing. So he was giving that money and he said nobody will mention his name. That if they mention his name, Obasanjo will deal with him. That he's the person going for the national ID. We agreed. I was bringing the money, they were running the party. One day he called me. Even Victor Ume. When I started this thing with Peter, going around, the first poster Peter pasted in Anambra is Anambra course or the course. I designed that poster with him in his office in Lagos. I brought it down. I paid people that
Pasted it
everywhere. After that, in one of our outings, when we went to address the Laity Council, myself, Benchuk Suwosu, and Chida Abosu, one of his friends from Lagos, we took off from my house in GRA Onitsha, had a wash and went. On our way coming back, that is when he met Victor Ume. After that, one day Peter called me and said that he needs to talk to me. I said, what is it? He booked a hotel in Asaba. Hotel called Orchid. Booked 4 rooms. Called my Quento, myself, Victor Ume, and himself. At about 11:12, went into a meeting. He said he wants to. Look at the way he called. He said, it's like we are going to Lagos. On getting to Benin, somebody brought an aircraft. We have to leave the vehicle and join the aircraft. The most important thing is to get to Lagos. I said, I don't understand what you're talking. He said he wants to tell me that he wants to leave AMPP, because a lot of people are not honest that they will come at 11th hour. You know, Peter has not gone to any primaries.
Yeah.
Since started election, has not gone for any primaries. He's afraid of primaries, you know. So I said, what do you want? He said he wants to join, go to Abga. I said, how can you do it? I was very angry. After wasting time doing everything, Peter went into the room, called my wife in UK, said that he should talk to me to cool down. Said that the most important thing is for us to win. You know, his sweet talk. After my wife continued calling me, I didn't want to answer call because we're in a meeting. When he called me, I busy the phone because I said I'll call her when we finish. At the time, Peter was the person asking me that I should answer the call. Do I know if there's anything wrong in my place? You know, it struck me, I answered. Say, okay. I took the phone to the room. Say, Peter just called him and said that I'm so uptight. And she started talking to me. Are you the person running for governorship? Is it not Peter? Wherever he wants to go, you follow him. So when he finished, I just called the phone. I said, Peter, has he gotten to the stage of calling my wife? He didn't say anything. Anyway, we despite. I was angry, I left him. He went to Apuga. By the time he got to Apuga, Apuga has done primaries. And Okenwosu was their candidate. Ikoroka. I mentioned people who are alive.
Okay.
So he came to me and said, what do you do? He knows my closeness with Arthur Eze. He came to me, was begging me. When I mentioned it to Arthur, Arthur doesn't want to hear Peter's name.
Hmm.
Peter was disturbing me. There's no way he can get the nomination. But you know, in Apuga or in all the political parties, you can substitute.
Yeah.
After a long time, I took a courage. Arthur was in London, I was in London. I go to Arthur's house very often. If he prays and see me in camera, he opens. So I told Peter, let's go and see Arthur. I know he will be angry with me, but let's see how it goes. I went with Peter. Peter bought 6-pack of orange juice, 6-pack of apple juice. I went to Arthur's house. I pressed the bell, tell Peter to get out of the camera. Peter get out of the camera. Arthur said, oh, see Peter. We entered. Arthur saw myself and Peter. He was so furious, very angry. I knelt down, asked Peter to kneel down.
Hmm.
Started begging him. There's nothing I did not tell him. After about 15 minutes, he called me and said, we should sit down. What do I want? Says to give Peter nomination for Abga. Says it's not possible. That this man has been trying to take over my premier brewery. If he becomes the governor, he'll take over my premier. Ask Peter if you happen to interview him. Peter denied he has not got such intention. After so many talk, Arthur picked his phone and called Chekwa Sokorie, because Arthur was the person that sponsors Chekwas to form that party.
Okay. I was like, he's the founder.
He's the founder. Any person joined after Arthur.
Apuga.
Yes. Every other person joined after Apuga and Chekwa Sokorie. So Chekwa said, there's nothing we can do. All this. Arthur told him, you are talking nonsense. I'm giving you instruction and you are telling me. So after a while, I had to say Peter should go back to, let's go to Nigeria and see Chakwas. If you see Chakwas, you know what to do. Talk to him nicely. Do it. That is how Peter got the nomination
So
to run for APGA.
they have to substitute the
The substitute Okewosu.
immediately.
I'm just telling you. Ikoroka. Ask. Okewosu, I think he was the chairman of PDM. He was substituted. It's me that did it. But I found out that after building people, it's not in your start to be, for them to look after you. So I've now resorted to leave politics the way it is. Because I got into politics when you have men, honest men, and men with integrity.
Yeah.
90% of people in politics, they don't have integrity.
Yeah. So, but I have a question.
Yes.
The question I have is that were Peter having this politics in mind, joining politics right from beginning, because the kind of passion he just devoted for.
I'm telling you exactly how Peter joined.
Okay.
I can swear on oath if what I'm saying is not true. He never, even he said when he was governor, he said when he finished, he would just go back to his business, what he's doing. Peter is not as rich as people think he was. All the papers he's showing, properties he's showing, is not his property. I don't want to start dropping names of people he bought the properties out for because of their involvement in government. He's not as rich as people think he was.
But what happened to the premier brewery?
It's Arthur's property.
He didn't touch it.
No. That was Arthur's fear. When we convinced him, it has nothing to do with it.
Yeah.
I've been answering High Chief even when my father was alive. There's a chieftaincy title they gave me in Yoruba land.
Okay.
In a town called Ipokia, very close to Obasanjo's native town. They made me the Otumba of Ipokia. In Yoruba land, only two chiefs that they regard as high chief. The other ones are chief. Otumba and Balogu.
I remember Otumba.
I'm the Otumba of Ipokia. So that is where the high chief came from. And apart from that, I have 17 chieftaincy titles.
17.
From 17 different communities.
Do you remember all of them?
Yes, I do remember some. From 17 different communities. So that's exactly what kept me in the level I am. And coming to my town, Oketiti, I'm an Ichie. I'm Onowu in the cabinet. Ichie. And coming to custom and tradition, in the whole other title in Oketiti, I'm number 2. We have 5 different other titles. The first one, whoever is the head of the first one, is the head of other title in Oketiti. That is Eze. Whoever is the head of Eze is the head of other title in Oketiti. Whoever is the Opala, Ozo Opala, is the second in the whole title. We call them Ndisi Nzenozo Oketiti. So Nisi Nzenozo Ketiti, I'm number 2.
So when you come to OKTT, you guys are decision makers.
We are not decision makers once it comes to custom and tradition.
Okay. You can come to that one.
Yes. Because we cannot say we are the decision makers because we have the Igwe and we have the President General. But once it comes to culture and tradition, we get involved.
Yeah. Yeah. So another question I want to ask you that just come to my mind is that you said your family lives in UK and you live in Nigeria. I can see that you comes home, you participate, and you follow the chair. You are in the chair and all that. So how are you trying to bring your children home? Because your father did it, because that's why you are home. So how are you going to do that?
They are here every year. They just left.
Okay, they were here in this December.
They just left.
No KTT here.
Yes, we did not come home, but we are here almost every day.
Okay.
You see, I always advise people. I retired officially from business the day I clocked 60. And it's over 7 years ago now. I don't buy, I don't sell. Neither do I do any contract or do any supply. My advice to the young people is nobody on earth gets all the money he wants before he dies. In a simple saying, onye na-achọ ego amara ego na ọ na-achọ. Maka ịmara ego na ị na-achọ ịchọta izu ike. The watchword is contentment. People should be contented. And people should believe in honesty, straightforwardness, because it helps. You can see most of the young people now carry police along because they are afraid of themselves. I'm not saying bad people are not there. But if anything, most of them are because of either they should change one another, or trying to beat one another, or trying to be faster than one another. So my only advice is that we should try as much as possible, be contented, and be honest. When you ask yourself a question, all this wealth and money we are looking for, what is it for? Is it not to eat, wear good clothes, probably send your children to school, build a nice house, have a nice car? How much do you need to do that? You don't need all the money in the whole world. You don't need that. You don't need to be Dangote to do it. You understand what I'm saying? The most important thing is contentment. And another thing is to live within your means. Don't do anything because the second person is doing it. Because everybody has his own star. He might do it and get away with it. You might do it and sing there.
Yeah.
So my advice is for us to hardworking, honesty, and face. The most important thing is to be contented.
Contentment is the key.
Yes.